Hello everyone, this is Marie. I'm going to show you today my scrapbook about my childhood. I am going to discuss this album and all the layouts that are inside with the ScrapGals on the ScrapGals podcast this Friday. So I wanted to give you a visual of the layouts if you happen to listen to the podcast. If you don't worry. This will be a great video full of inspiration about stories and design layout of what you could do in your own childhood album if you want to make one. If you would like to be a member of the ScrapGals group, you can just go onto Facebook and find us there. And if you want to listen to the podcast, you can ask on the Facebook group how to do so. It's inexpensive. It's 4 podcasts a month, once a week. It's super interesting, entertaining, fun, inspiring, and yeah. So this is the beginning of my album. It's in a Project Life type page. I made it back to back. Since it's the first page of the album, I couldn't make it side to side, so back to back will work. There's a bunch of information about my birth, where I was born, the date, the time, a quote from my mom, my weight and size, and loads of details about like the age of my parents, where we were living, what kind of baby I was, what I did when I arrived home, and the situation we were living in, all this on this layout. Super interesting to have those facts. This here is a page where I just talk about myself in general. It was the first page of the album before I made the newborn layout. So it was just a presentation of me, my parents, and I added some details about me today. Today, when I made the layout, I was 36 years old. So talking about my 2 kids that I have now. And I'm talking a little bit about this picture with my cousin as well. This is one of my favorite layouts that I made ever in my life. It's a screenshot of the neighborhood where I was living between 1977 and 1988. I have pictures of all the important houses and places I was going at that time in my life. And here on the right side, I have even more information and more pictures about all those places. For example, the street where I lived, the inside of my house, my grandma's house, what I was doing on the way from school, to school and from school with my cousin. This is another building of another school I attended a little bit later. This is my backyard, so I'm talking about the games we were playing and the people who were living around us at that time. This is I'm trying to avoid the glare. So this here is a layout about things that can only happen to me, funny things, weird things. There's a list there and some pictures about that time, not the exact pictures that go with the story, but you know, just to give you an idea of what I looked at that time when all those things happened. This here is a comparison between me, my brother, and my mom at Santa's Village in 1980, and me and my 2 daughters in 2013. When I went back with my kiddos, a lot of memories came back, flashbacks of stuff that I had seen, like this giant bunny. So I found a similar picture and I paired them. And I'm talking about what I felt when I went back with my kids and what I remembered from that time. This is a page about different things that were happening at that time in my life. Parrot Jungle, my parents, and my first communion. This is a picture of me in 1st grade. So this is an idea of what you can make with those pictures that you have from school that are just basic, you looking at the camera doing nothing. So you can just add journaling about things that were happening at that time. You could do the same for your kids now with their own school pictures, like what's happening for them in that grade. This is a story about 1st grade for me. This was my favorite teacher ever in elementary school. So that's my class picture and a lot of details about what I remember from that year and why it was my favorite year. This is a recipe that we made in class. Pumpkin muffins. That was a big thing. This here is a layout about the toys and the games that I was playing. My favorite toy was my brother, and so it was not really important for me what were the toys and what we were doing as long as we were together. So I'm talking about all of this and what we were doing together at that time. This here is the story of when I got my dog when I was 5 years old. This is a layout about Easter. We were going to my grandparents every Easter and meet all my cousins and aunts and uncles. So we have 3 pictures of 3 different times that we went to my grandma for Easter, 1978, 1980, and 1989. And I'm talking about what I liked about celebrating Easter at her house. This is a story about bad things that I made when I was little. I made this page. It was part of a class on childhood memories. So this topic was given to me, and since I was not a bad child, I had to think very hard about something bad I had done, and the only thing I could come up with is when I went to the neighbor and cut all her fresh flowers to make a bouquet for my mom. Yeah, so there's that. I took that picture on Google, the street view. You could do that as well if you have memories of things that happened at some specific places. This is a story I had no picture for. It happened to me at daycare when I was 3 years old. I was stuck in the basement of the church where I was taken care of during the day. We went to the basement to play, and they left without me. They didn't find me, and they thought maybe she's upstairs, so they closed all the lights and they went up. And I was still there, and that was very, very scary. So I just decided to make the title very big and add some accents, some embellishments. This layout pairs very well with a Halloween layout. This is Halloween for my brother and I at different time period. Those are my parents, so that was before we were born. They had costumes on. I added a little book that I made about all my favorite candies. When I add elements that I have to pull out to look inside, I try to put them always at the top of the page so they are easy to take out and put back in. Here I have space for one more story. This is a layout about costumes, Halloween costumes, and I'm comparing the costumes I had with my brother that were about 25 cents each. I exaggerate, I don't know how much they were, but I know they were cheap compared to the 2 Elsa dresses and crowns and magic wand that I had to buy, well, that I bought my daughters for their own Halloween shenanigans. These 2 pages were made separately, and it's funny because they go very well together. It was not planned. It's about 2 years where my parents took us out of regular school, and they made with 2 other families an alternative school. So I'm talking about all of that. This was one of my teacher. And this was inside the school. This was the house where the school was happening. And see, I have used exactly the same picture here. Not remembering that I had already done that page, but the story is different. So I decided to just leave that picture. This is a story. It's a page about how songs and music bring back memories to me. So I wanted this to be the cover page or the cover layout of an album where all the layouts would be the title of a song that reminds me of something. I never did that album, so I decided to put this page in this album instead. I'm talking about when my mom was singing to me when I was little and how significant music is and songs are in my for me. This is a page about when I went to camp when I was in about 3rd and 4th or 5th grade, well, 6th grade, I guess, when I was 11 years old. Those are letters that my mom sent to camp for me. I love that page with the ephemeras, the letter. It's very precious. So this is a page that I made about a contest that I won when I was about 10 or 11 years old. Yeah, 11 years old. It was a newspaper contest year after year. Some years it was like drawing something Christmas related. And this year it was writing a story, a Christmas story. So I won 3 years in a row. This is one of them. And this is my story that was printed in the journal, in the newspaper. And this is our the photo of the winners. This here was part of the class yesterday and today by Ali Edwards in 2009. And it was, we had to compare Christmas when we were little to Christmas now. So that's what I did. This is just a placeholder for stories and photos to tell more stories about that school, that special school I went to for 2 years. This is again from the class yesterday and today, and it's highlighting the relationship between me and my brother when we were little and now. Those 2 pages are 6 little stories that happened to me when I was little. They were also, this was also part of the yesterday and today class by Ali Edwards. This is a page about what happens at the table in my family. So when we were young in 1981 and 1989. This is a layout about all the animals that I had growing up. My dog, my cat, our 2 turtles, and our 2 rats. This is a layout about my brother and I. We were in a sports studies program, so we were ice skaters together. So it's all about how life was at that time with the training. And I end the album with this layout about graduation and high school. It's just a story, you know, a broad story of what high school was, my 2 last years of high school. And I checked to see what the next page after this I made, and it was from 1997, so when I was 20 years old. So I decided not to include it in my childhood album. It's pretty full, but I do have some space for some more stories, and I do have a running list of stories that I can tell about my childhood. So I'm pretty sure I will add like some more, maybe five more stories in that album. Will have space. There's an empty page here. So I'm planning on continuing as the stories come up and as I feel like telling them. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it gave you some inspiration to tell your own story. Bye!